On June 21, 2010, John Watson, Hurricane Creek keeper, and South Wings pilot Tom Hutchins once again set out across the Gulf of Mexico for the source of the BP Slick. Today we were joined by writer David Helvard, author of Saved by the Sea, a love story with fish. It didn't take long after leaving the shores to find our first oil. In the mouth of Mobile Bay, there were patches of light sheen seen behind the islands. You couldn't see it from the beach, but 1.2 miles off Gulf shore, there was a solid mass of oil. On previous flights, behind Petty Boy Island, all we had seen was light sheen. Now it was turning into the darker pink mats. Some of these floats were miles long and hundreds of feet wide. The farther out into the Gulf we got, the more consistent it became. At 17 miles out, it was obvious that the entire Gulf was covered at this point. There was no more clean water. Heavy layers of oil now covered the entire horizon. As far as you could see, the bands were getting thicker. At 23 miles out, we encountered the heaviest sheen yet. This was the dark pinks and purples, the colors that we had seen in the first flights out. It was obvious that this was what was coming to our beaches, and there was nothing we could do about it. At 23 miles out, we encountered the heaviest sheens yet. The water there was a deep purple, maroon, blue. It looked almost like a rainbow. Boats on the surface looked tiny in comparison to the horizon. The scope of this is beyond belief. It'll take years at this rate to gather up even a portion of the oil that's on the surface today. Some of it looks more like bruised internal organs of the human body than the surface of the ocean. And yet that's what it is. Some of it looks as if a child had sprayed silly string all over the surface, but there's nothing silly about these strings of oil that float on the Gulf of Mexico today. The first time I came out and saw a fire, there was only one. Today, when we got here, there were 4. Within a couple of passes, there were 7. From the size of these fires, it seems as though we're not only trying to kill everything in the Gulf of Mexico, but everything that flies over it as well. This toxic environment can't be good for the birds that fly over the Gulf, and certainly nothing can live in these rainbows of death that cover the entire horizon. These rainbows stretch for miles in every direction. You can't see a clear place on the Gulf anywhere around this. Each of these fires probably burns an equivalent of less than an Olympic-sized swimming pool. From 1.2 miles off the shores of Gulf Shores, Alabama, to the ground zero site some 90 miles away, we haven't flown over a single square inch of clear water.